These are smartphone screens. Now, in today's video, I want you to understand why we end up replacing them, and that will definitely take us into understanding the use, parts, repair, and then a review of what really happens in the background. I'm glad to have you here. So, without further ado, what are the uses? Basically, we expect this phone to have a screen which will be able to do two functions. One, that is to display, to show you the images that you are happening to see, so that you can interact with the phone. Now, the other function is, lately, it helps you touch. In other words, interact with the phone by giving it input, by touching the icons. And those are the two basic functions of a smartphone screen. Now, the next thing is to understand, if those are the two functions, what are there for the parts? One, so the parts also basically rhyme with the parts. So we have the display, and the displays are normal of two types. There's usually LCD and then LED, in which case the LEDs could be split into the OLED, that is the organic light emitting diode, and then AMOLED. OLED usually is just the passive version of OLED, and AMOLED is the active matrix version. This is common to the Samsung phones. This you'll find in the iPhones and other smartphones that implement OLED screens. Now, I won't go into detail as to the advantages of LCD and OLED, but I'll bring you a video in the future that dives deep into that. Today, we just simply want to understand how the phone screen works. Now, the other part of the phone screen is definitely the touch sensor, which at times people call the digitizer, and this is where all the image, all the gestures that you do on the screen will be done in place. Now, for instance, when I put in my pattern, that is the touch sensing layer doing that job. When we look at the pictures that have been shown here, that is the display layer. So understand the smartphone screen to be basically two layers. Now let me just give you an example of that what would look like. Now this would be the LCD layer. This simply, when you plug it into a smartphone motherboard, it will allow you to show pictures, but you will not be able to interact with those pictures. Now that's where the touch layer would come in, which is something of this kind. This is just transparent, so this one also has an input signal. So on this transparent glass, there's actually conducting lines made out of some material that is both transparent but can conduct electricity. I don't remember whether it was palladium. So this kind of thing would be on top of the screen, so that when you see the image or your keyboard and you touch, this will respond to the input that you have done. So the phone will understand that right now they have touched the left or the rightmost top corner of the screen, and it will therefore process and change what you see accordingly. So basically, this is how the smartphone screen is implemented. Over the years, however, this fiber has been disjointed, and what has been done is that the entire fiber now sends both signals. So they have a fiber that sends into a display, and then on the surface directly of the display, the touch sensitive lines are printed, and that's where you find a situation like this one, where much as there's the LCD layer and touch layer, they all share the same ribbon, part of which goes into the internal display, and then part of which goes into the touch sensitive layer. And this top glass is simply a piece of glass to give it form and structure, so that it doesn't break easily, but then you'll just have it printed straight on this. Now, I may not bore you anymore with any of those and proceed further. Now, repair. How would we deal with repairing these smartphone screens? So there are two situations that we normally do, and One of the lazy ones is to simply replace the display touch assembly. Two is to replace only part of the screen. Remember, we say the screen is both the display and the touch. Now, in replacing the display, all you need to know is how to open the device, and then also be able to know why it's a lost cause, why you are choosing to replace. Because we don't just want to offer a very expensive solution, but we also want to keep it cheap and affordable. So normally this is in a scenario whereby one, the screen is fused as one, like the display and the touch layer are fused as one, and then two, if they are separable, you cannot find only one of the parts. In that case, you'll just end up replacing the phone's screen. But that being said, if you've reached this far, I request you to hit the subscribe button, because I think perhaps this channel is of good value to you. And if you're a returning subscriber, we are on the way to 4,000 watch hours. I'm glad that you've watched this far, and I implore you that we watch till the end from the beginning, so that I can accumulate those watch hours. That will help us monetize and be able to bring for you the repair review videos that will provide us more equipment that we can use to better illustrate some of these things on this channel. Now, there is a scenario in which we only work on part of the display at two. I remember the case where I told you that the touch and display are fused onto one thing, and it's something like this. Now in this scenario, there are cases where you will find that the touch itself has no problem, the display has no problem, but the topmost glass is shattered. Now here we do a screen separation in which we cut out the top fractured glass, because it's just a material for strengthening, and then we fuse it together with the assembly that has the touch and display, assuming this was it. So we'll now fuse that too, and then it becomes as good as new. So that is where we actually do what you would call screen separation. And this is basically a glass only replacement. In other words, we are just replacing the glass that gives the display touch strength and provides a skeleton. There is also a scenario whereby the screen itself comes divided into the display and touch. For instance, the one I have showed you here, where the touch is separate. Now there are scenarios whereby this touch is only held onto the display layer by a veneer of adhesive at the edges. Those are the most easy ones to replace. You just need to get in between and cut. Then there are scenarios where the glue between this and that is all over the entire surface. That also requires you to do a separation. In this case, you're separating the touch layer from the display layer, and those are the scenarios in which you will only replace part of it. And this, of course, definitely is the cheaper one. I normally go for that, and if all fails, we end up going for the entire complete replacement. Now, if you're new on this channel, please do hit the subscribe button. I'm glad that you've reached this far. Now, the other thing is review. Normally, with any repair, I always implore you that always seek to find feedback from the client, and that will allow you understand that you are actually providing beneficial solutions, and also to help you know if you are growing as a repair person. And I just want to say one last thing is that do not fear. Repair is actually easy. You just need the right pieces of information, and please do keep subscribed and keep checking on the channel, because we'll bring you videos, repairs, as we demonstrate, so that you can simply reproduce, and then too will come with a review of the repair to give you an idea of what's happening in the background. so that you at least have the confidence that you are going in the right way. And the other thing is, we will start bringing more of the theoretical videos, hopefully starting next year, which is tomorrow, 2024, and such that you actually understand the physics behind. For instance, if I say LCD, you understand how a LCD works. When I say LED, you understand how a LED works. In other words, this will help you not only be able to fix smartphones, but any other device that seems to implement any kind of such a solution. And I'm very glad that you have watched till the end. Please do hit the subscribe button, and yeah, we're to 4,000 hours. And just as usual, thank you for being here. See you in the next video. Yep, I conclude the video with this thumbnail. See you in the next video.